Yeah, they messed up bad. So we probably had the biggest leak that we have actually ever gotten for Call of Duty. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the biggest leak we've ever gotten, especially earliest leak for certain things. So, as you guys know, before, we ended up getting some leaked files, the mobile alpha that people have access to, some people. I don't know exactly how you get access to all of the shit, but it's there. So, since Call of Duty 2.0 is that thing that they have introduced where everybody is trying to work under a unified engine, I guess somehow, for whatever reason, it turns out that basically anything that they're updating within the other Call of Duties, for whatever reason, they're also with mobile files. They have Warzone 2 files in there. They have DMZ files. They even have Call of Duty 2024 files in there. Treyarch's next game that they're going to be using in Infinity Ward, the IW9 engine, Treyarch is going to be using an IW engine, which I'm super excited for, but I already have leaked images of some of the art, like loading screens and other shit like that. And I think there's like 2 or 3 loading screens or some shit with Call of Duty 2024 in there. We're gonna assume that it's either a Black Ops reboot or like a sequel to Cold War or whatever. Obviously, I can't show any of these images, and if you want to see them for yourself, Reality UK ended up posting it. Now, I don't even know if his Twitter even exists anymore after posting all of that, so I don't know. There's all these files that he data mined that shows a bunch of different weapons, a bunch of different maps, Warzone 2, DMZ, Modern Warfare 2, and Call of Duty 2024. This is literally the biggest and earliest leak we have ever gotten of a Call of Duty. We are actually seeing a Call of Duty years before it's even out now. Now, I don't know what they were thinking. You know, obviously, they got one of the biggest fan bases in all of gaming. People are obviously going to data mine the shit out of things, and it's crazy to me that we can get access to all of this shit just off of the mobile game. So obviously, since I can't show the pictures or anything like that, I can just kind of explain it. There's a Grand Prix map. Also, there's an image of that farm map that I mentioned that they told us about. I made my video like 3 weeks or so, a little bit over 3 weeks ago when I got invited to their digital event. There's Grand Prix, obviously, there's like a racetrack or whatever. It's even got like a race car on it. I don't know if that's just like a design thing or if there's literally gonna be like a car that's like driving past really quickly, like at F1 speeds, and it could just take you out instantly like the bullet train from BO2 or what. But yeah, there's a car driving in the multiple cars. There's another map that's kind of like in the desert. A lot of this stuff might be based in like Mexico and stuff like that. And also, I don't know necessarily between some of the images whether they're exactly meant for COD 2024 or Modern Warfare 2. But I'm assuming this one here that's kind of got like these big water tanks and stuff. There's like a blue tank and a yellow tank. I'm assuming that's Modern Warfare 2. There's this one map on here that I see on here that it's that map that for whatever reason, just when I looked at it, it's based on the color, I think, to be honest with you, but it's got that striking contrast where it's kind of like a modern looking building with like a bunch of white tile and other shit like that. And the greens look great. The green colors are great. There's also a bunch of flags with this really nice like red into teal looking logo thing. This map, when I look at it, gives me the same feeling as getting Terminal on Modern Warfare 2. When I saw it, I was like, ooh. Same thing with Raid on Black Ops 2, for example. It gives me that feeling of like, oh yeah, it's a good map. I don't know why, just from the looks of it, just from the outside, just through colors themselves, I think that'll be a good map. There's another map that looks like it's in the desert also, and there's like some tropical looking trees and shit, like palm trees or some shit. It looks like a palace. Also, some of these maps and these images here are actually ground war maps. So with them being ground war maps, it's also a great possibility that that's actually on the Warzone map. So we're technically getting images of the Warzone 2 map right here. And just by the looks of it, in terms of color, it's gonna look 10 times better than Verdansk ever did. It's not me trying to take unfair shots at it. I'm just saying, like, color-wise, it definitely looks more vibrant than Verdansk. Like I was saying with Modern Warfare 2019, it's got a big regular color palette of like, especially Verdansk, it's just got like a bunch of gray and brown and green, like very washed out. This looks like the front of like a mall, and there's like a parking lot in front of it, and there's an area to pull up to, almost like people can get picked up and dropped off there, or maybe like loading things in as well. Again, with the trees. There's another thing, which I think is actually a ground war map, but it looks like there's a lighthouse. The lighthouse is obviously like right next to water. There's a boat on the side. I don't know if that's like a drivable boat or... In this image in particular, to me, it doesn't look like a piece of artwork. This actually looks like an in-game screenshot to me. It doesn't really look like an artwork picture like some of the other ones. This, it looks like an in-game screenshot just by like the way that some of the rocks kind of look. I could be wrong, obviously, but looking at it stylistically, it looks like an in-game screenshot. The buildings kind of look like some of the buildings from like Ania Palace, if you guys remember that map. Big ass map. The long one. Kind of looks like those buildings, sort of, like in terms of like color and shit, and what it looks like, kind of like the layout, like big wide open doors. There's another map with like a river or whatever. I'm gonna assume swimming is a part of this. I don't know if this is a 2024 image or the 2024 images though, definitely is kind of screaming like 1990s. I don't know if this is a reboot for Black Ops or if it's Black Ops Cold War Part 2 or like what's up. I don't really know shit about that. Also, there's some things in there about DMZ and there's some pictures and shit. It's assumed that some of the Warzone map and part of the Warzone maps could also be used in DMZ and shit, so I don't really know exactly how they're gonna do it all or whatever, but there's just a fuck ton of assets. I don't really know. Also, it says that there's an AX50, but mobile model itself doesn't really look like an AX50 though to me. Genuinely, it doesn't look anything like an AX50, even though the file name says AX50, but when you look at it, it kind of looks like an AW50. It kind of looks like an L11, like an L96, more of that kind of look to it. I know I just named like 3 different weapons, but it just doesn't look like an AX50. The reason I say like 90, so there's like this airfield looking picture, and this is Call of Duty 2024, and it's kind of got this, I don't know, this older look and feel to it. There's like the American flag on the side of the bunker or whatever. There's explosions and looks like mortar fire all over the place and shit. So like it looks a little bit more modern because inside of the hangar is like, it looks like a Blackbird, high tech, like triangle shaped, like super stealth bomber looking thingy. I don't know. There's another building on the inside. There's like some older artwork that's like painted on the walls. There's like a big chandelier hole in the wall. There's also this other picture of like these dark black vehicles in what looks like Mexico, and there's like some people with like some dark hats on, some guy standing in the back of a truck. The buildings are really, really colorful and just like really beautiful looking. Obviously it's just artwork or whatever, but this is definitely the biggest leak we've gotten like literally ever. So I don't know how or why that this happened or whatever, but I don't know why the files are in the mobile thing, but I'm assuming it has something to do with them trying to keep all of the files and everything in one place, all on one engine, because if they separate them all, they're gonna run into the same bloat issue that they've had with the last 3 games with Warzone and everything. This is why my camos don't track properly. This is why I had those broken bundles in my store where I would buy them. It would say that I didn't buy it, but then I had the items, but then the items would disappear. Just all sorts of crazy tracking issues with the games across them. This should make it a bit easier. This should make more sense for everybody to like figure out where everything is and what could be going wrong with like the tracking and the cross progression and the yeah. There's a lot more things that you'll be able to learn about it just by looking over at Reality UK's Twitter, but if it's nuked or whatever, surely there's gonna be other info out there. Surely everybody saved all the images and shit like that at this point, so probably also even on YouTube at this point. Some people just don't give a fuck. They'll post whatever they want. So I was right on like half of my picks, not even. Like it is a pretty bad one, but I mean, I had some of them right. I was right about the ones that I cared most about, so there's that. Max Holloway lost. Not really sure what he's gonna do, but it won't really matter. I mean, we're gonna watch Max regardless. Volk established himself as the greatest 145er, but it's not like, you know, Holloway won't go down as like a great and be remembered the exact same way as like in the same bracket like Aldo and shit, so still legend status, doesn't matter. Rather not really see him take a shit ton more damage, but you know, that's all up to him. Yeah, there's leaks all over the place. There's also like weapon icons and shit like that that obviously I can't even begin to explain, just so you can even see like the weapon models and things like that. So it just seems like Warzone on mobile just has all of these Warzone 2 files in it and shit and all these assets. So we have a lot of good shit to look forward to, honestly. Some people are even thinking that this could be like a controlled leak where there's no way that they'd be this stupid, but honestly, I think it's just an actual oopsie. Like, they just fucked up. It happens. Sorry, I don't know. Because here's also the other thing. If this is like a common, regular method for everybody to use in order to see all of the upcoming shit in all of the games, there's no way, like, why would they not try to remedy this? There's no way that they would just like sit here and let us just like data mine all of the shit, right? I mean, does it work in a way where like if it's added to the mobile thing, is it guaranteed that it makes it over into the other games? And then also like, is there going to be a third game that's connected to it? Are they going to take another year off between who comes after Treyarch? Are they going to give Sledgehammer another shot? Like, there's just a lot of questions, but honestly, I'm just enjoying the images. They're very pleasing to the eye in terms of color and shit. And stylistically, there's a lot of places that actually seem very different. And in terms of like setting and stuff like that, there's definitely a big influence from both of the games. Definitely seem like their own style when you go and look at them. So we'll obviously see the weapons when they come out anyway. I mean, it is what it is. We could say that the intervention is in the game, but it also doesn't mean that it's anything like the intervention in MW2 or even like this S-TAC here. So go and check that out if you want.